A simple aluminium frame, the right design plastics. Yep, that's how simple BARKBUSTER is. But guys, it's not as simple as that for a handguard mount. I mean, looking at the number of videos that I'm seeing surfacing in the recent past about BARKBUSTER, it's definitely not just about the name or having something that looks like this. Let's start with the most simple aspect. That's how light the BARKBUSTER aluminium frame is. A single welded, single molded aluminium frame with a tear-proof plastic, which only rips off to the edges where it's taken extreme abrasion, but otherwise this thing does not crack, this thing does not break. They've got design ingenuity and years of expertise when it comes to actually designing a product in terms of different motorcycles, different mounts and different usage terrains. Now, BARKBUSTER, this frame comes in two models. This is the most used product in our country at the moment, India. We've got 99% of our motorcycles available with different styles. A lot of the adventure motorcycles use the 2-point mount. 2-point mount has one point here which connects with a BARKBUSTER entrail mount which connects to the handlebar. That is specifically built to a lot of motorcycles. There is cross compatibility between a certain. Giving you an example, between the 390 Adventure, the Interceptor, the Dominar and the Himalayan. All four of them use the same mount because the base mount that comes here is absolutely designed to work with the master cylinder wire routing, the pipe routing, and of course the brake valves and the brake lines as well. Now, the primary condition is you have to have the specific component that is designed and made for your bike. These are not universal. Now, 2-point mount being the hardest and the best in the market, with this point at the end of the the handlebar bar end, and this connecting onto the internal, make sure that there is a 2-point lock. This is a rigid system. When you take an impact from this side, of course, if the impact is very bad, this cuts from here to make sure that it does not transfer to the handlebar, keeping you safe on that trail where I'm sure if the brake lever, the clutch lever, or even if the handlebar is bent, guys, you're stuck there. And on extreme trail conditions or the kind of trails that we do, it is not that easy to find somebody else to actually lift the whole bike and move it down from the miles that you've gone up when you don't have a part that is functional, not working. Now, when you look at the BARKBUSTER, the other model is a single mount that is usually used for enduro bikes where the bar end does not connect. They have a similar entity, but it'll have a clamp in the center and that's it. The same plastic fits on it and they're usually the enduro or the MX guards. We also have another one which is a universal mount, and then we've got the Aero GP, which is just a bar end weight and comes connect over here. As you can see in the video, the Aero GP is primarily designed with a deflector as well, like the VPS, and these are made for super sports. Super sports, naked sports, yes, you would not want to install something bulky, you can definitely look at the Aero GP. However, that's a slide protection, that is not hardcore impact protection. Now, coming into the different bits of BARKBUSTER, if you have to kit it up on yourself, we will look at the next most important component, which is the plastics. Now, you have the jet, you have the VPS, and of course, as you can see, you have the Storm as well in the frame. Now, as you saw the Storm, that's one of the biggest plastic mounts that we have available. That is for wet conditions or terrain riding, primarily in places where there's a lot of cold. So not everywhere in India would that be comfortable. Jet, on the other hand, is the most simple setup with a tiny deflector. This is primarily meant for enduro and trail conditions with the 2-point mount, where, let's say for an X-Pulse, you're doing a slush ride and the guy in front of you has off-road tires and he's throwing a lot of muck, a lot of water. This is enough to make sure that it doesn't go into your handlebar, making you lose your throttle grip or your handlebar grip. Now, going into the most useful one and the most loved one, this is the VPS. Every packet comes with a pair of these and a pair of these. These are the deflectors that you will add on. Of course, once you install this, the benefit is, let's say that summer ride, of course, you would not want too much of wind deflection. Now, VPS is variable protection system. So when you look at it, at the back of the frame, which of course you're going to see there, you will see that there is a lower point where you can connect it exactly in line with the actual BARKBUSTER. And the moment you need to have it, let's say you're doing rain now and you're doing cold conditions, you can lift it up to make sure that your hands and your gloves are protected from the rain or from the terrain or from the kind of climatic feedback that you get to avoid the cold. But in summer, of course, if it's down, we have wind pockets here that takes in air and your hands don't sweat. VPS is the most used product, now available in multiple colors. Of course, as you can see right here, I've got white, yellow, orange, green, blue. I've got it also in red for the Africa Twins and the Ducatis. I've got it in the navy blue, which you see here for let's say the 850, the 1250 GS, the Africa Twins. I mean, the world is your limit. You can mix match all these colors to give one of the most iconic looks that you have. Now also, the other factor that you look at apart from these are something that we add on. These are the DRL systems. Now they come in DRL set and the indicator set. They are designed in such a way that they are pre-designed in shape to install with the BARKBUSTER frame itself. One sits up here on the VPS, the other guy will go down here on the VPS. When it comes to the Jet, you can only install one of them, and when it comes to the Storm, of course, you can install both of them. You can either choose to have them to work as just DRLs with the white light, or you can use the indicators which actually flash, eliminating the OE indicator or also adding with the OE for better visibility. Now once that you have this setup done, of course, there are 3 more accessories that you can add. There is a slider that comes towards the edge. A lot of us who already use BARKBUSTER must be aware that when you drop, this is the first point that actually takes that little bit of a tear damage, which makes it look a little, dirty, and you have your battle scars there. To cover that, there is a BARKBUSTER slider that covers this portion. For bikes that are single cylinder or twin, or even for the inline 4s, if you feel there is a sort of vibration that's coming because in some mounting, the OEM bar end weights are replaced by BARKBUSTER bar end weights. In those cases, if you want to add on the bar end weight, of course, you have the BARKBUSTER bar end weights add-on that plug in and is made and designed to fit with this aluminium bar, of course with the original aluminium bar. At the same time, if you are a super sport or if you are one of the adventure bikes who do not want the bar end weight, but you would like to have a finisher, you can add these beautiful looking sliders. They are also available in multiple colors. You have red, you have blue, you have black, you have silver. I mean, there are multiple options listed on our website. So all of this put together make the complete system. Now, if you want to actually see a real life scenario, I've got Ajit on ground right now. Out of the 100 falls, well, actually a lot more than that, to be honest. I mean, the guy is quite interestingly in love with off-road and enduro terrain. Of all the falls that he's had with the BARKBUSTER, and multiple which we all know about, in that video specifically, he's dropped the bike. There has been a solid impact on the BARKBUSTER. Let's hear from him what happened there, and let's also come back in a bit to see why BARKBUSTER.
Small fall there in the climb what you guys just saw. So the BARKBUSTERS has taken a hit. It's done the job, man. It's done the job. The handlebars are fine.
I'm sure of all you guys thinking out there, would have been a better color on that BARKBUSTER. I'm sure he's thinking about it too now that I've said this. But the same VPS, absolutely no issues, and the frame is absolutely fine. It's taken the impact, it's protected the brake lever, the clutch lever, and the handlebar is absolutely safe to ride on. And considering, as you've seen the terrain that he is, if that bike had shut down, or if any of your bikes shut down, that's a difficult place to bring it down from, and that is going to be a pain in middle of your ride when you're going to enjoy those trails or even go for that long tour. So before I go away, yes, let me tell you that one thing. The name, there is a million products in the market which say BARKBUSTER. These guys have been designing and engineering and defining and redefining perfection when it comes to how to make sure your handlebars are safe. There is no second quality or first quality or anything as such which is a replacement to BARKBUSTER. They have been doing handguards all their life, and they will be doing handguards. Well, actually, they've also started grips right now. We'll talk about that in another video, but for this, if you like our informative video, you can subscribe to our channel. You can also like, share, and subscribe to this channel. At the same time, if you have any comments, questions, queries, you have 3 options. You can leave a comment down here. You can come on to our Instagram channel, leave us a DM, or you can just call us on our official toll-free number that's on Google. I'm Srijit, and I had pleasure talking to you guys. See you in the next one, and thank you very much.